There are three levels to your desires as a man in a relationship. Three levels. Most people are actually only conscious of one level. And in fact, most media and relationship, experts are only ever talking about one layer on one level. The three levels are the following: romantic, amorous, how you get on with the person, personality, compatibility on an interpersonal level. That's actually what everyone focuses on. There are two other levels. There's ego and status, and then there's also practicality right at the base there. You have to have all three. You have to have all three in play in order to have a successful, sustainable relationship. We all know about the romantic connection and all this kind of stuff, right? We all know about that mid-level, but that's just one level. It's important, of course, but it's just one level. What about ego and status? What about ego and status? So as a man, what I have found to be true is being with a girl who is she's kind of mid, basically, she's kind of average. It doesn't satisfy my ego. It doesn't satisfy my desire for status. When I moved from dating girls like that, let's say, which I was mostly with up until about 27, to my first true badski at 27 years old, a girl who just physiologically was an absolute specimen. Was a type of girl who, if I was waiting in a bar with friends and she was coming to meet her, when she walked in, my friends would they would basically stare at her, and people in the bar would look at her. Even sometimes family, even my dad, I remember once staring at this girl, right? Being with that type of girl does something for your feeling of status as a man. It does something for your feeling of status as a man. This is mine. I'm holding this down. She's with me. Yeah, that does something for your status as a man. It's a very good primal feeling. On top of that, we also have the interpersonal, amazing connection, and all of that business as well, intellectual connection and everything as well. And then the base layer, the practical layer, that pragmatic layer. What aspirations do we have for life? Are we going in the same direction in life? In that particular relationship I just referenced then, the one I had at 27, 28, the practical layer was the one that broke apart and everything crumbles. If you don't have the practical layer, forget about it. Forget about it. It's gone. It will. There's a logic to relationships, and if you don't have that layer sorted, eventually it will collapse. However good the connection is, however hot she is, however much you really feel like the man with the girl. Okay, so we need to have all three of those layers. And if all three are satisfied, you will go to the moon. Women have their own version of this as well. And it's exactly the same thing. Are you a guy that she wants to have on her arm? That, it's not just based on looks for guys, it's based on other things as well. But she's like, yeah, this guy's with me. I'm with this guy. Yeah. So it's the same for women as well, right? So if you find yourself at the moment in a scenario as a man where you're sick of mid, you're sick of Susie, yeah, you're sick of Samantha the six, you want more. I really would advocate, at the very least, shooting for this type of top tier girl. I really would advocate it. And having at the very least an experience of it. And what that does after that is it's like a cloak that you wear constantly afterwards. It's like you've got a hide in a way. That girl's spiritual hide you're wearing going forward. Because now that girl, the one I'm thinking of at 27, 28, other girls who were slightly less attractive than her, I'm kind of much less impressed by in my interaction with them. It's much easier for me just to, of course I can date this girl. When we separate and stuff, of course I can date this girl. I've dated her, And then you even start to look on broader, even higher horizons. What could I actually get a literal 10, a literal world level 10? And so what I found to be true in my life is making that step from the mid to the big leagues. That actually changes you forever. And I've seen it with friends as well. I've seen it with a friend recently who went from mid, actually even pretty low, to, because of his actions, because of the work that he was putting in with daytime approach, he actually landed his first legit global. Let's say she's a global Badsky, she's a 9 global, and it's changed him. It's changed him. Now going forward, that's his level. That's his level. Okay, so who am I? It doesn't really matter who I am, to be honest with you, but I'll give you just some basic details. Insofar as it relates to dating, what's my story? I was a guy who was okay as a teenager, could get a girlfriend and stuff like that. Came out into the adult world at 18. I'm starting going to clubs and things like this, and I'm going, wow, I am totally unequipped for this. I've got no idea what's going on in the adult world of dating. So I was horrific in my early 20s, awful. Good professional level, but awful on the woman's side of things. But I focused in on it, and I try and get better each year. I try and improve each year, try and go for hotter girls, see if I can approach a little bit better. Can I be a bit more commanding and so on in clubs? And eventually I got to a point around 27, 28 where it all switched. Because once you hit it, once you're actually approaching properly, you've got that gravitas. Once you get to that point, then things will start to flow. And all of a sudden, you're going from no girl, you're going from 0 to hero. You've got nobody, and then you're dating the 2 hottest girls around on the whole scene. You've got multiple options. You've got loads of options. I've never been one who wanted to have like a different girl literally sexually every day. That was never my thing. I was more in my late 20s, early 30s, more on a kind of rotation thing, have 2 or 3 really attractive girls around and then be flirting with others and so on. That was what I did. That was what I did. Definitely felt right for my life. So it's different people approach things in a different way. Then in my mid-30s, I actually started a club promotion, which lasted for 4 years. I saw a lot more of the nightlife scene through that, like really under the surface of the nightlife scene. So that's my own personal story. At 37, I decided I've done 20 years in nightlife now. I want to move into meeting women in a different way, meeting the same caliber of women, if not even better, and I want to do it in a different way. So I went to train with the best men's dating cold approach coach in the world, Christian. I went to train with him about 18, 19 months ago, and since then I've been doing daytime approach. So moving everything over to the daytime. That's been an amazing experience. I've had great experiences through that. I've realized wow, once you unlock daytime, nothing is off the table. So I'll link in the description here just a basic guide to doing daytime approach, which I recorded earlier this week. It's a basic guide. It's a 7-step process. It's very simple. It's very repeatable. It's very freaking easy. So if you struggle, go and watch that. I'll link it below. I'll just finally say on this video that the feeling of going from the 6 to the upper echelons girl, it's a different, you feel differently as a guy. It actually changes your identity as a guy. That doesn't actually mean then you have to go to, you don't have to necessarily marry like the top end, because there's even complications with that. So for example, last year, I got the contacts of a Miss Universe when I was in Brazil. And you sort of realize quite quickly their life is so busy and crazy, it actually wouldn't fit into mine. So it's nice. It was a great scalp, should we say, like a great, I didn't even end up sleeping with her or anything, but it was a great experience to go in the middle of the day in the mall, to go and close this girl in the middle of the mall. Yeah. That's a great experience to be able to do that. So there was an Olympic athlete that I closed as well last year in the supermarket. So these are like highlight reels. But actually, are those girls compatible with my life? Like the Olympic athlete, she's always training and stuff. Like, no, we're not even nowhere near compatible. So you're able to make a more mature decision about what is going to be good for your life. And it might be a Miss Universe, or it actually might just be a really sexy girl who you meet locally, and actually she's going to fit really well into your life. But you should be able to go for the Miss Universe, and you should be able to get her. You should be able to go for the Olympic athlete and get her. The absolute Badsky who changes your perception of yourself and also changes how other people think about you as well. You start to notice people look at me before, it's like, oh, he's the intelligent guy, he's a sort of, whatever, academic guy, whatever. And then it's like, wait, hold on. I keep seeing this guy with all these look at his ex-girlfriend, now he's getting with these other really hot girls. People then start to view you as something else. Like you become a different entity. Right? You shed that former skin of almost the skin that you were just given by everybody else. You were the sports guy, you were the sociable guy, you were the smart guy, you're the rich guy, the hardworking guy, the shy guy. Whatever you are, when you start showing up with bad skis, people always see you as basically a G, no matter what you do, whether you're a doctor, you're a tailor, whatever, people will see you in that way. Yeah. And it doesn't matter when you start. You could start at 50, you could start at 20. It doesn't matter. So making that shift, and let's not be, for me, I'm not afraid of ego. I'm not afraid of ego. I think it's important. Like being egotistically satisfied is something that's quite primal. I think there's people, everyone's on this Eastern spiritual thing. Now, for me, that's just a fantasy. Like on a primal level, ego is important. So I'll leave the video there. I've got to cook my wrap right now. We'll leave things there. I'm Joseph. If you like this video, if you found it interesting, please just comment. For the time being, what I want people to do is just comment and interact with me. So for the next few months, I'm just going to be making videos. In about 3 months' time, I will be putting out offers. I'll be putting out a concrete offer as to how my experiences may be able to assist you. I'm doing lots of stuff at the moment. I'm helping friends with their personal life. I'm even doing virtual wingmanship at the moment. So in a few months' time, I will have an offer. But for the time being, I just want you to comment and interact with my video. Let me know any problems you have. Are you stuck with Susie? Can you not get anybody? Can you get a date but you can't close the date? Just let me know what your issues are. And I'm actually fairly confident I can help with almost all of the issues, to be honest with you. I'm 39, so I've been working on this stuff for like best part of 20 years. I've just seen a lot. So I'm fairly sure I can assist you. Let me know, brother. Peace, love, Josefsky.